You know when they say like the father has the first child, it's like a life-changing moment.
Hmm.
What was that feeling like when you held your first child? Like,
Oh man, it's crazy. It feels like decades ago, but it was only 7 years ago. Um, it's true, man. Like everything changes. Everything changes because you just have this responsibility now.
yeah,
And um, again, I don't think everybody thinks that way. I think for a lot of people, they feel like it's just it's just another part of life. Um, you know, uh, I'm just thinking about people who go on through this life and will pick up and just leave their families, or will settle for just um, having their vices and being addicted to drugs and alcohol, and not really think about what they're putting their families through. Um, but it really is a game changer, and it was for me. Um, it just gives you this added sense of purpose, and there's really no other way that I can describe it. It's just like I can't let this person down,
yeah,
and the competitive side of me also wants me to be able to parent my children better than my parents parented me. And that's like this competitive side of me that is, not only am I trying to do that, but I'm like going back in time and pretending that I'm raising myself,
mm,
right? And like parenting my kids the way that I think I never had growing up. And there's some therapy in that.
yeah,
There's something to be said for that. That's like when you think that you can maybe fix some of the wrongs that you feel were inflicted upon you as a child. It helps you um, at least in some sense make sense of why that happened.
yeah. And there's that saying that like heal the child and the man will grow,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, it's true, man.
yeah,
I commend you a lot for that. Commend you a lot. Yeah, it's a different. Well, I can't relate. I don't have any. I don't have any children. But yeah, I've always said this as well. Like I may not achieve a lot of things in this world, but I know I'll be the best dad in the world,
Hmm.
and that's primarily because of what I went through and saying that I want to be better for that person. But this is where I get conflicted, and maybe you can help me clear it out. The reason I am the way I am today is because of the things I went through. And so now, when I have children, how am I supposed to put those kind of morals and values if if I give them the life that I always wanted? You know what I'm saying? And that might be just a naive question for me at this stage in my life, and I'll figure it out as I go. But
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough, and I think um, my best advice, at least for somebody who's having those thoughts, is um, you can only do your best.
yeah,
You're going to make mistakes, right? You're going to screw up. You're going to do things and say things that you probably will regret. Um, but you've got to be um, a role model in the sense of not um, coaching them or dictating or telling them how they should be living their life, but living your life in a way that they look up to you and say, "Oh, if Dad's doing that, then maybe I have that too, or that might help me too." So I think it's both, right? Like you obviously want the best for your kids. There's no doubt. But I think you can't provide the best for your kids if you're not taking care of yourself first, right? So selfishly, there's things that I have to do that takes me away from being with my family sometimes. But I know that doing that is making me whole, that I can show up better for them.
hmm I think being in the world of education now, I've like learned a little about the psychology of a 5-year-old.
Hmm.
But what I've realized is they would, and this might be generalizing, but they follow what you do instead of what you say. So, for example, if don't do that, right? Most of the time, the kid's like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Like,
Hmm.
it's like don't touch that red button. All right, what's the red button?
Yeah,
Let me press it.
exactly. Yeah.
Let me press it.
what does it do?
But then if I go about the sense of like they'll copy what you're kind of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they see dad every morning get in the ice bath, then they're like, oh, there's a reason why he's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like dad's doing that for a reason. And they'll pick up on that.
Yeah.
And is that a reason as well? Because they see you out the window, I assume.
They were there this morning.
They were there.
They
Yeah, you
were there this
mentioned
morning.
that.
I was in there before they woke up, and they woke up while I was in there, and I can hear them banging on the glass, and I see them, and that's 100% the reason. That is 100%. And I think, you know, at this age, they're too young to really understand.
Yeah.
But they're seeing it, and so yeah, I think the more they're exposed to, you know, things that are positive in their life, whether they understand it or not,
Yeah.
they'll pick up on it, and it'll
Subconscious.
just yeah.
Subconscious. Of course.
It's you're showing them the way that, like, you know, it doesn't matter what you're going through or, like, you know, what hurdles are. There's a part of you that can get through it and still, you know, come out on top.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.